This episode is brought to you by the fine folks at 111 Minna. 111 Minna invites those of you 21 and older to join them this Thursday to celebrate 50 years of MAD. That's right, Bay Area art champion Michelle Delaney is celebrating her birthday with a liberating night of punk rock, art, dancing, and style to benefit public media's KALW. The Hooks will be on hand playing Clash covers. DJ One Way Possible will delight with a live broadcast dance party, and you'll be able to buy a limited edition t-shirt from punk art legend Winston Smith. The party is 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. this Thursday, October 2nd at 111 Minna. While I have your attention, and before we get to this episode, today is the last day to vote in 48 Hills Best of the Bay Readers Poll. Go to 48hills.org and vote in categories like Best Drag Show, Best Pet Store, and of course, Best Podcast. Feel free to press pause here while you do that. Okay, on with the show.
I was like, this is everything I wanted to be, but more, and very unexpected. Typical New Englander, we go to Santa Cruz and I'm like, so we're in Southern California now.
That was Lisa Davidson, ironworking four-person on the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm Jeff, and this is Storied San Francisco, a podcast about artists, activists, and working people who make this city what it is. I met Lisa back in May at our Keep It Local party at Babylon Burning. Halfway through the night or so, someone came up to me and told me that a Golden Gate Bridge ironworker was there, and I really needed to meet them. I was introduced to Lisa, chatted as much as you can in a party environment, and never let that high die down. We sat down for coffee at Equator in Fort Mason in early August to chat about Lisa's life. Don't forget to vote in 48 Hills Best of the Bay. And part 2 of this episode drops Thursday, so stay tuned and subscribe for that. Here's Lisa Davidson.
Well, I know that unfortunately, all of my family, except for my brother, are no longer with me. Like, they all passed way too soon. So, but while they were here on Earth, they really had a huge influence on me. So I was raised pretty much without walking around thinking I was raised this way, was that I could do whatever I wanted. And that I should, follow whatever I wanted. And, my mom would always say, like, are you gonna do it right, or are you gonna do it half-assed? Like, that motto of, like, yeah, you're gonna do it right? So kind of hard driven and stuff, but very liberal, very be accepting of others, And
where
also,
in the world was this?
This was right outside of Boston, Massachusetts, Framingham. A great little suburb, and my grandparents lived in Boston, which I really loved because I could go into the
Boston
city.
proper?
Yeah, they were right there near the garden. And my grandfather had a really cool store on Washington Street at the end of the combat zone, which was the red light district. But they still to this day call it the combat zone, even though I don't know how active that combat zone is.
Where all the work was done, let's say.
Some work was done there, yes. And but his store was really cool. And actually it had a big influence on me with my artwork, my outlook on things, a lot of kitsch stuff.
Americana?
Jesus lamps with the oil beads and boom boxes and a lot of knockoff jewelry that I love. Even though I wasn't a girly girl, I loved like the fake Gucci's watches and different. And he was a real wheeler and dealer, and he had a level in the store down in the basement that was all toys too.
Oh, fun.
and he sold a lot of like souvenir type things to the Boston Garden for various events as well.
Okay.
And then his big thing into the kind of disco 80s era was mylar balloons, the shiny, and that really, he told me that was my future.
Was mylar?
Yeah, in the mylar balloons that and he said, he goes, you're an artist. He goes, you're very creative, and maybe you could design some balloon designs, and then
Never say never.
You could make it big. And I was like, I said, well, Pop, I'm not really like an entrepreneur. I'm more of like I like to make things. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know that this was all in the making of things, right? Mm-hmm. Which led me to the ironworking, which I never would have imagined it did. But there were little seeds here and there. Like my dad was an electrician, and he worked on these big lithograph presses in Boston, like down like in like South Boston. And I thought he was kind of like a doctor because he always had a pager, because the presses would run 24/7. So if something broke down, now it's all computerized, but
sure.
If it broke down, my dad would jump in his truck, and he loved that.
Like, would you be sitting at the dinner table and he get
sometimes
paid?
It would be like that, but it was I also think that my dad just really liked to just drive by himself.
Sure.
I think he needed to get away from us.
Were there reasons? Yeah.
Yeah, well, my mom was awesome, and they were very, very loving, like all over each other a lot, which really surprised me when they got a divorce, because I thought, damn, these two are just like on fire. Like I thought, oh, that's how I want to be.
Were you a kid when they got divorced?
No. Well, I think I was a senior in high school.
Still home.
It was it was pretty devastating, because I was like, damn, if they don't love each other anymore, I don't know.
Right. What is love?
What would happen in the world, right?
Yeah.
If my parents fell out of love, but it was very nice growing up. But anyway, my mom, I could go on way too long about my mom.
That's another podcast.
Yes.
We'll do a bonus episode on her.
But she was crazy in a good way, like very I Love Lucy episode. You never knew what was going to happen when you went out with my mom.
Yeah.
And I have lots of stories about her.
Was she like a woman of the 50s, 60s?
Okay, she told me, her spiel with me was, she's like, I was a good girl. I'm a product of the 50s. I wanted to make your grandparents happy, but I really did a lot of things I didn't want to do. I really wanted to kind of run in the streets and, do things like...
That'll make someone crazy.
Yeah.
What we call crazy.
Well, I asked her...
Wacky, arty... I don't know.
Yeah, she had a great creative side, and it came out like our house was decorated insane. We had like a zebra room.
Yes.
Every fireplace had like a diorama of sorts in it. There was like a jungle one and stuff. My little brother would hide in there.
Sure.
She'd be like, "Where's your brother?" I'm like, "He's in the jungle."
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had a waterfall in the house. This is just a suburban house,
Incredible.
mind you. It's not like some Vegas palatial, like new money mansion.
Yeah.
This is the suburbs. And
no, but it reminds me of that thing of like
she'd go crazy.
Like women especially, and so many other people have been held back.
Yes.
All through human history, and just imagine if they weren't.
Exactly.
Right?
So I didn't know it at the time, but she was, kind of expressing herself,
totally.
Right? And it was great. Mm-hmm. And I think that also, really influenced me immensely.
Were you the only daughter?
Yeah, so I'm the oldest, and then my brother.
Okay.
4 years younger than me.
Okay.
And she did things like, she'd buy like a spin art machine, and she wouldn't put the guard on it, and it would flip around in the kitchen, and like it would coat the wallpaper, and she'd let us rip the wallpaper off and redo the walls. She
sounds fun as fuck.
She was a blast.
Yeah.
A little unsafe kind of feeling as a child, and I went through a phase where I didn't want to be Jewish, and I wanted to go to Catholic school, and I didn't want to have her, which makes me feel really bad because she really was amazing. But I went through a phase where I wanted to kind of be like LL Bean, like Waspy,
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "That's too bad, because that's not what you have." And I told her...
I love your mom.
Oh, she was amazing.
I'm sorry I didn't know her. She sounds great.
She was great. And I said, "Why can't we celebrate Easter?" She said, "Because we're Jews." The Easter bunny goes hippity, hippity, hop, and he hops over our house. And he goes to the next house. And you know what? She didn't feel bad saying that, because like Hanukkah would come and she'd go full bore.
Good.
The woman did not hold back.
Good.
But she could also say some hard stuff, like, or I want to go to midnight mass. She's like, I don't know whose kids you are, but knock yourself out. She goes, go with the people down the street.
Right.
She never let me not do something.
It is very Catholic where you grew up, though, right?
My neighborhood was very half and half.
Okay.
A lot of Jews and a lot of, Protestant, Catholic, yeah.
Was your family active? Like, did they go to synagogue?
For the sake of my grandparents, my grandparents, would go out for breakfast, and my grandfather would be like, I'll have eggs and bacon, and I go, Papa, that's not kosher.
Right.
And my mom would hit me under the table.
Yeah.
Like, you let your grandfather enjoy himself. He's out for breakfast. So I really think it was culturally Jewish.
Yeah, sure.
Which also was a huge influence, huge.
Okay.
Whether I wanted it to be that or not. Yeah, because I said to my mom, I want to go to Catholic school. And she said, why? She says, there's nuns there. They're mean. She goes, why would you want to do that? I said, well, I want a uniform. She goes, I'll buy you a uniform, and then you can go wear it to public school. St. Bridget's.
Did you do that? Did you
I
get a
never
uniform?
carried that dream out.
Oh, okay. Well, again, never say never.
That's right. That's true. I think I'm over it by now.
So we've talked about as far as up to senior year.
Yes.
Then what?
College, no question about it.
Where?
University of Massachusetts, Amherst.
Amherst.
The zoo.
We've talked. You and I have talked off mic about
yes.
the 5 colleges and that whole Scooby-Doo and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yes, and then
it's an interesting part of the world that I'm familiar with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful?
Maybe we haven't talked about it.
It's beautiful up there.
It's amazing. Yeah,
Northampton. And it felt a million miles away, and it
Yeah.
was just Western Massachusetts. But to me,
yeah,
being a New Englander, it was
maybe it is a million
forever
miles away by New England standards. By California and Texas standards, it's next door.
And I think we talked about that
did
too,
talk about
right?
that.
Yeah, that's like a journey. Although it was far enough away that I was really in another world, which was great.
Right.
Yeah.
Remind me, so Hampshire was the liberal arts one.
Yes, that's the one that had no grades.
UMass was the jocks.
Yes.
And then Smith was all women.
All the girls,
Sylvia Plath,
right.
all that shit.
Yes.
What was Amherst then? How'd you categorize that?
I always saw it as a bit of a mix of Smith and Mount Holyoke.
Mount Holyoke's the other one, and I don't know what that
but
one is.
But I don't really have a concept of
was
the
it preppy?
Amherst. Yeah, okay, so
Amherst
was the school that I couldn't get into. Colby in Maine, because my SATs were horrible.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did
I freeze up on tests.
Besides leaving your childhood home, were there other motivations to go to college? Did you want to learn specific stuff or?
No, I just knew that I kind of had that good girl syndrome. And really, growing up where I did, there was no question that you were going to go to college. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was really fortunate, actually. But I remember my mom did say to me, she goes, why don't you apply to art school? Oh. Because you like art. Now, a lot of kids, that's a dream to have your parents push. Even my dad was like, yeah, you should go to art school. And I was like, no, that's not a real school.
Oh, you were the one telling them.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I said, that's not a real school.
Huh.
A real school has a football team. They're like, you don't care about that. I'm like, well, I like to play sports. Yeah. So, of course, I had to get my private, I want to be someone else. So I started rowing with the crew team there.
Oh, that's big in New England, right?
And I loved, the regimentation and the brutality, the physical brutality of it, because it was probably one of the hardest sports I think
It'll
I
get
ever
your ass
played.
in shape, though.
Very much so. Mm-hmm. And,
Super shape.
and it had that kind of preppy, just that thing I really wanted to be.
Mm-hmm. Crew.
Yeah.
Right? Don't they call it crew? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crew. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And we would race on the Connecticut River.
I was going to ask what river. Thank you
and
for
all
indulging.
The girls, I'm 5'9". All the women, or I always say girls, I don't care.
It's okay.
They're so much bigger than me.
Oh, okay.
Huge thighs and leg pressing huge amounts of weight and stuff. So it took me a while to find my niche in that little realm.
Did you like it?
I did, but it was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Maybe self-imposed, but it was a lot of pressure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, did you graduate?
I did.
And
then I went to art school.
What did little Lisa think? She's like, let's go to art school. Let's. Although it was all more affordable then. Everything was more affordable then.
I mean, like I said, I was super fortunate that I took a year off and I worked. I was just doing like waitressing. It's actually, that part's a little bit of a blur to me, which is weird because I really hold on to every little detail of not just my stuff, but other people's stuff.
Okay.
But I did apply to art school, and to my surprise, I got in.
Which one?
Rhode Island School of Design.
Oh, heard of it.
Which everyone goes,
heard of it.
And then I like that horrible imposter thing where I'm like, how the hell did I do that?
Okay.
And then I got in, and then I remember I thought everyone was better than me, and I didn't know what to draw, and I didn't know what to do, and I picked printmaking.
Okay.
But I really ended up spending, I was drawing cows, and so I really didn't know what to do. And I remember later on, once I kind of found my look or whatever, or my art, or they were like, oh, when you got here, we thought you went to Brown, because I still had that kind of UMass,
Sure.
I didn't smoke cigarettes, and I didn't wear all black. I didn't have the look.
Preppy, proper stuff fit
and
in.
I would go up to Brown and run around the track and stuff and use their facilities, because, that RISD had a hockey team, though, called the Nads.
Another spin-off podcast, maybe.
Okay, yeah. I don't know much about it because I was like, really? But
That's
they did.
surprising.
They played hockey up at Brown. There were some jocks there that liked to draw.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up being in the foundry a lot.
I was gonna ask, like, did you struggled in the beginning to kind of find your vision or your medium, but did you find it?
Yes,
you found it.
I was so happy to be there, and I'm glad. So I didn't go to grad school there. I got a second degree there because
I've done that too. I know, yeah.
Yeah, out of my
bachelors.
league.
Yeah.
It was too much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't really think I had a chance in hell of getting into grad school.
Mine was I took the GREs and went to journalism orientation at Berkeley.
Really?
And he did a good job of scaring the fuck out of me. And I was like, and let's go to SF State instead and get a second bachelor.
God.
Yeah.
Aww.
It's not for everyone. College isn't for everyone.
Well, now I know that.
Right.
Like the kids that went to trade school, my mom would be like, oh, they're the troubled kids. Well, my dad was an electrician.
Right.
Or like,
she married one.
And I'm like, Dad, I go, Mom, she'd go, why don't you ever date Jewish boys? And I was like, because I just don't, Mom. And she goes, it's self-hate. I go, you married Dad? And she goes, I know. And I said, Dad barely passes as Jewish. So my dad was half Irish Catholic and half Jewish.
Oh, like me.
His mom, my grandma, had all the boys bar mitzvahed because it made my grandfather happy.
Okay.
So we had an Irish woman married to a Russian Jew, and then they... she didn't care. She's like, oh, if that makes you happy, we'll have the boys bar mitzvah. But, my mom would always say, you're not a Hurwitz, you're a Davidson, type of thing. Mm-hmm. But she didn't mean it in a mean way. And she's like...
Was that her name?
Hurwitz. Yes. And my grandfather's store was called the world famous, deemed by him, House of Hurwitz. Yes. And actually, I met a guy in my neighborhood in North Beach that knew that store.
No.
Because he's from Dorchester. He said, I know that store. I said, I hope you didn't buy a gold chain there because your neck will be green, right, from the turn green. It's okay. My grandfather was I'll get you another one. Don't worry about it.
Oh, right. Sorry about that.
But I wanted...
RISD.
Yes,
your
RISD.
time there.
So I ended up spending a lot of time in the foundry.
Okay.
And I think that's when I realized, oh, my God, welding. How cool that you can, because, I was putting stuff together, making these weird lamps, on my own time, because that wasn't serious art, even though I realized, the crafty stuff to me was just so lowbrow and RISD standards, but so what I loved. And I was, kind of trying to glue together frames and then put rice paper over them, and then I found this thing called MIG welding, which is this amazing glorified hot glue gun, but with strength.
Right.
Not that you'd ever want to use MIG welding
like
on
industrial
a structure.
Industrial glue gun?
You can put wire armatures. It's almost like soldering above, a level above.
Okay. Between that and welding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mean, at the time, I felt I was welding because I was, but not like what I know now for structural, right?
Right.
And it really opened my world up. I was like, I love this.
Yeah. What they call an aha moment?
Yeah,
Or moments?
I was like,
yeah.
because it was scary, and I
Yeah.
asked my teacher, "Am I going to get electrocuted?" He said, "Well, you'd have to put your foot in a bucket of water and then touch this electrode." And I was like, "Well, I'm not going to do that." He goes, "Right, so just strike an arc and let's start trying to."
I would have said, don't put
Yeah.
anything past me, teach.
I know, right? I know. I was
Never
like, well,
know.
there's always a chance.
Thanks for the warning,
Yeah.
sir.
And I did bronze casting. It was very cool.
Okay.
But it wasn't my.
You were making art, or were you making other stuff, like utilitarian?
I was making stuff, but I just was really into this kind of what I thought at the time was like this really cool macho process. Like,
Interesting.
Yeah, but really you were just learning the technical aspect, and you were hoping you would get some gem to come out of it. And then I would go back to my department where I had to make, things and get critiqued and things
Oh.
like that on my art, on
Scary.
a body of artwork. Oh my God. It was very intense. But I loved art school, because I think I was older and I had more of appreciation. Maybe if I had gone in as straight from high school,
Yeah.
I don't think I
It
would
would have
have.
hit different.
Totally. Yeah, it really would have. So I really loved that.
And
But I
so-
still didn't know I had the bug for what I'm
Okay.
doing. Still Dawn was not breaking or anything like that about that.
I'm guessing we'll get to that.
Okay.
So after Rhode Island School of Design, what happened?
But when I was at UMass, I'm going backwards, but
That's okay.
I heard about this guy in my dorm that was going to Alaska. And I was like, oh, that sounds like something that, because, my family didn't camp. My mom's like, Jews do not go camping, Lisa.
That's where I get it from.
Yeah. Oh, you don't camp?
Well, I did.
Yeah.
But then at some point, I also, none of us are getting any younger.
Yeah.
I just got to the point where I was like, we went to the campsite, we set up our camps. It's hot, sweaty, there's bugs.
Yeah, a lot of
And
stuff
we're
to
cooking on
pack.
this little fucking thing. And we just passed a hotel like
Thank
5
you.
miles down the
With a
road that has
pool.
beds and a pool and maybe even a hot tub. I'm like,
Right. And clean towels. Right.
I'm not rich, but I'm not broke.
Right.
Like, come on.
So
Anyway,
people love it. I mean,
I like it every once in a while in very specific conditions. Like, I want it
Yeah.
to be cold.
or I want to go with someone that's really good at it, and I'll
Yeah.
kind of help out.
Yeah.
I'm a doer.
Yeah.
But I want you to kind of
Yeah.
dial it in for me.
Right.
Right. So then
But like washing dishes with cold water.
Ugh, it
It's
really
just
sucks.
Like, come on.
But this is a good step off.
Alaska.
Yeah, well, not to cut you off, but yes,
Please
this
do.
This is like a step to this.
Yeah.
So okay, I've never done that. Okay, Alaska. I'm like, okay.
Right.
And so I perk up. Okay, so my boyfriend at the time was like, hell no. I was like, okay.
For you or for him?
He didn't want to go to Alaska.
Okay.
But
he
I
wasn't
did.
He wasn't telling you like you can't go either.
Oh no, he
okay.
wasn't. I did. Yeah.
Yeah, there are men
there
like
was
that.
none of that.
Good.
I only wish I could have held on to that into my older years, but that's also changed. So, anyway, I really wanted to go. So I didn't really know this guy, but I couldn't get anybody that I knew to go with me. So I went and I knocked on his door, and he answered the door, and I go, hey, you're Malcolm. He goes, yeah. I said, I heard you're going to Alaska. He goes, I am. I said, can I go with you? And he goes, he kind of looked at me like, I don't know who you are. I said, listen, just let me go with you. And if you don't like me, I mean, like, not like anything's going to happen.
Right.
I'm just like, if you don't like me, just genuinely like me, then you can ditch me. And he goes, oh, let me think about it. He goes, but yeah, I mean, why not? And then he told me what he was going to do. He's going to go to Seattle, get on a ferry, take it through Puget Sound.
Yes.
Then it dumps, and it was getting to be a little too much. I'm like, all right, just like, let me know if you want me to go with you. And I called my mom. I said, Mom, I'm going to go to Alaska. And she goes, honey, I think that sounds great.
Oh.
Because my mom didn't know stuff. She's like, we need to go to an Army Navy store and get you some stuff. In her heels with her
Thermals.
manicured nails, yeah. My dad's in the background going, no, like screaming. No, and honey, she's gonna go to Alaska. Isn't that cute? Like, so she takes me to the Army Navy store, and of course, goes up to one guy. She goes, "Excuse me," she goes, "My daughter needs to have some stuff to go to Alaska." And the guy's like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, so just tell her what she needs, because I don't do this kind of thing."
Right.
And I didn't either. And then she's like, "You're gonna need a lantern," and the guy's like, "It's 24 hours of daylight there in the summer."
Yeah. Yeah.
So I did. I did go.
Okay.
And I lived out of a tent all summer.
Between your two college
let's see.
stints,
When did I go? I went
or while
in
you
between
were
my junior and senior year in college, and it was amazing. And I worked in canneries, and I got a spot on a boat, but these guys did not. This was my pre-Ironworker, so I was like, no, these guys are bad news. I'm not getting on this boat because I can't get away once I'm on a boat.
Right.
So I had a bad vibe. So I stuck to the canneries.
And what part of Alaska was this?
We were all over Kenai Peninsula, Homer, which was amazing, and there was an art community there. But that's where I met all these people from California.
Okay.
And I said, I want to live in California.
Yeah.
And my mom said, if I'm paying for art school, you're going to stay on the East Coast and go to art school, and then you can go do whatever you want. So yes, I'm backtracking, which I apologize for. But
all good.
But that's how the California thing happened after art school, because I did apply to San Francisco Art Institute.
R.I.P.
And my mom did give me really good guidance. She's like, for what you want to do, I think RISD would be a better bet for you for what you want to do. But I think she was kind of right, actually. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Had you or anyone in your family been out here or anywhere in California before this?
Oh, no. Everyone was telling me California is the place you vacation and you don't live there.
Yeah. I relate to that, having grown up in Texas, for sure.
Did you hear things like, oh, they're all flaky out there?
Well, the big thing in Texas is California's going to fall into the ocean. At least it was in the 80s.
Oh, yeah, that was another thing. Oh, my God, there's earthquakes there.
They're going to fall into the ocean.
Yeah, you're going to fall into the ocean.
Yeah, or we'll have Greg Abbott as our governor. I think I know which one I choose. Anyhow.
I love it. Yeah. Which made me want to go more, by the way. Right. Just something different than even though I love where I'm from.
Did you know you were moving here, though?
Oh, okay.
Or did you visit first?
So, in art school, I met this guy, and lo and behold, he was from California.
Where?
Danville.
Oh.
But he wasn't like that kind of guy. What was really crazy was, so I got, okay, that's another thing. His family goes, why don't you just come and stay with us for a summer and test it out? So my mom goes, who are these people?
Right, who is this?
Who would invite a complete stranger to their home? Right? Yeah. And she looks at me, she goes, California. And I said, but Mom, that's a nice thing. She goes, it's very suspicious.
It's scary.
So she was more nervous about me going and staying with his family than sending my ass off
to Alaska
to like be hitchhiking with guys that had like rifle racks and they're behind their truck on their pickup truck. Yeah. Yeah, and no women to be seen anywhere, just in the pickle jar in Alaska, right, with all these dudes. So
you came to you stayed in Danville, you said?
I did.
Okay.
And I got
what year was it?
Oh, God, you're going to date me now.
Just a little bit.
I want to say, sorry, I'm
Or
90.
it was 90s. Let's just say 90s.
90s. No, I don't mind. I'm just really, 90s.
Post 89 earthquake.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And I loved it. I actually loved it I loved it out here.
Did you spend a winter that first time?
No, just a summer.
It was a summer.
Just a summer.
But also the summer, you're like, what the fuck
Yeah,
is
we
this?
didn't stay in Danville every chance we got. Like, because this guy was like a skater and he, he'd go all around the city. He wanted to get out of his thing. But when I got to his house looked just like my house in Framingham.
Right.
Same style. He lived in a court. I lived in my mom called it a dead-end circle. And then,
cul-de-sac.
Yeah, she would never say, because she was like, we live in a dead-end circle. I was like, my mom, that sounds so tragic.
Yeah.
And then it was the same. It was like, which was really weird. But his family was not the same. But they were very good to me.
I want to hear in the 90s when you spent this summer in Danville and came to the city, what kind of things do you remember? And what kind of impression did San Francisco have on you?
I was like, this is everything I wanted to be, but more. And very unexpected. Typical New Englander, we go to Santa Cruz, and I'm like, so we're in Southern California now. And
a little bit.
My guy is like, no, this is Santa Cruz. This is
just don't tell them that.
Yeah. He goes, it's not. And I say, but there's sand and there's surfing and everybody's wearing Vans, and I thought this was it. And then but his family lived in Livermore, and so then I go to Livermore, and I'm like, it's a bunch of cowboys here. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's just that you could, you had to drive a lot more right than back east, but you could really find a lot of different people. And to me, coming from a city area like Boston that's very segregated, I don't have a feel for it now because I just visit. I don't live there day to day. I felt like it was very diverse here, which was really for me. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to be around people that looked like me or felt like me all the time,
Yeah.
I wanted to meet people that were different from me, or maybe a little bit more loosened up than me, or,
To help you loosen up.
Yeah, which hasn't worked very well. But yeah. But,
well, I didn't know you then, but yeah. Was it right away that you're like, I love this place,
yes,
and I want to be here?
Yes.
Okay.
So I went back, happy to go back and finish school, and then beelined it out here, and then I landed in Oakland and lived in Oakland, and then started working in like a prop shop, sculpting giant things out of foam with a chainsaw.
Yes. For
this guy, Ed Martinez Fabrications, which was on Folsom Street.
Yeah.
5th and Folsom, and I would take like a bus and BART and a bus, and I remember walking down 6th Street and freaking out, and I remember thinking there's so many people on the street, and didn't really see a lot of that back east.
Right.
So it was a little intimidating and scary, and I felt bad for everyone. So I was giving everyone money, and my girlfriend back east goes, give the women you see on the street tampons because they probably need it. I'm like, Margie, I'm not going to go walking around giving people tampons.
But that is actually beautiful
and she
sentiment
said,
of your friend.
She's got a point,
totally.
But I just didn't feel it was a little presumptuous. Like, you want a tampon?
Right.
No, I want some money, or I want some food, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, but she said everyone needs feminine hygiene and different things, maybe some Advil in there. She's very period focused, I guess.
That was Lisa Davidson. We recorded this episode at Equator Coffee in Fort Mason. Check back here Thursday for part 2 with Lisa, available wherever you get podcasts. Music for Storied San Francisco was produced, performed, and curated by Otis McDonald. Our contributing producer is Aaron Lim of Bitch Talk Podcast. And the show is produced and hosted by me, Jeff Hunt. Now in our 7th season, we have more than 270 episodes available on our website, storiedsf.com, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If possible, please rate and review the show. I want to know what you think. Follow us on Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at storiedsf, and reach out to us there or email us at storiedsf@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Be super careful crossing the street, and keep being wacky, creative, and kind out there. See you next time on Storied San Francisco. We acknowledge and respect the first humans of the unceded land we call San Francisco, the Ramaytush Ohlone. We condemn the genocide of these and other tribes across the Western Hemisphere. We honor their legacy and history, and we support rematriation and sovereignty efforts.